Hi, folks. Collegian post-game show. Marcus Spencer's in the middle. Justin's down there on the end. Fifth straight title. We'll start right there for the South Dakota State women as they defeat rival South Dakota 56-53, comeback fashion. This game had just about everything you could ask for, considering these teams are two rivals. What is the general take on this game sitting here now in the aftermath?
Well, last night I said I thought SDSU was going to pull away easily, get a 10-point victory out of the deal. They did not. USD certainly came to play. They were the physical aggressors in this game, and they used that to their advantage until, I don't know when SDSU took the lead. I think it was about 8 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
And up until that point, this was USD's ball game. I think the score was kind of leading people wrong, because I think USD was...
The final score?
No, up until that point.
Sure.
I think USD was physically and points-wise dominating SDSU, and finally SDSU kind of flipped their famous light switch, and off they went.
I would agree with that, because for the longest time we were stuck on 3-point lead for USD, and it felt like they were up by 6 or 7 or 8, and like you said, in that instance, not indicative of how the game was progressing. Justin, I think SDSU sort of prides themselves on their ability to score inside. Amy Williams threw out a stat where 86 or 88% of the Jacks' points in recent games have come in the paint. That was a game plan that USD tried and executed extremely well today. Why do you think how do you think the Coyotes were able to do that so well, and what sort of turned it around for SDSU?
Well, I think for starters,
right.
I think that ski camp was really just bearing down on the Jacks, and that's what really gave the Jacks like that lead in the first half.
Sure.
And I think that it kind of threw the Jacks out of rhythm a little bit. They didn't seem themselves. They were making a lot of mistakes down low. And I think the Jacks really turned it around once they got Wingle involved. They started throwing it down to her down low.
I mean, that is a good point. Wingle was 2 of 10 for and she missed a lot of easy shots.
Yeah.
But I think SDSU worked so well of getting the ball inside, kicking it back out, and they weren't even able to get the ball inside in the first half. Nobody was able to drive. Nothing was happening. They weren't screening. It didn't look like SDSU. What we've come to see. And I guess I go back to how much this championship game looked like the last 4. A couple of those have gone to overtime. This game was just tight all the way. When you think of last year, they beat UMKC in a game where it was a lot like you said. Wow, they'll beat UMKC by 15, 20 points. It just doesn't happen in a title game. And I'm impressed by USD. I think this is a team that we'll probably be seeing in this title game quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think what I think is a really big factor in USD, I think they're going to be transitioning into one of the top teams in the Summit League going forward. Because you look at what they bring back Nicole Seacamp, and what do they lose for starters?
Wilson and Yackley.
And Yackley. That's it. I think they've got guards that they can replace. I was looking at their roster. They're redshirting something like 6 people right now. That's a big number. And if they can get those back and get any kind of quality, I think those 6 people can replace the 2 that they're missing. Because you look at Yackley and Wilson's 14 total points there. Yes, that's a big number, but at the same time, that can be replaced when you bring back someone that puts up 20 points in a title game, gets the MVP, and doesn't even win it in Seacamp.
Seacamp, the first since I think 2005 to win the award in a losing effort in the title game, and the 5th overall in the 20-year history of the women's tournament. Justin, your final thoughts on this game? The Jacks, I think, are as equipped as ever to win a game in the NCAA tournament. As usual, it is based on the matchup. What is your take? Because they beat Nebraska, they played Penn State well, beat Georgetown, played Marquette, who's going to be a tournament team, I believe, pretty close. Creighton, same thing. What's sort of your thought?
I feel like the Jackrabbits can win just about any game against anybody, against any matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as they stick to the 3-point shot, and they fairly consistently make 3-point shots, get it down to Wingle, and they have the leadership to win the championship.
They're physical enough, I think, to hang. But I will say this: if they get Baylor, UConn, Stanford, any of those teams in the first
Yeah.
round, I don't think they're going to make it.
Well, I don't
So
think they're going to be a 16
that's a
seed.
good
They
one.
probably won't.
It's
Yeah,
going to
you-
be tough. It's going to be tough, but I think they can do it.
What did you say earlier? They're going to be somewhere between a 12 and a 16.
Yep,
And they won't be a 12
and,
they
give
won't
or
be a
give or
16.
take the one, so probably 13 to 15 is more realistic.
If they're a 13, I like their chances. I really do, because then you get a team that you probably can beat. That's a top 16, top 20 type team. And the Jacks are equipped to do that.
And I don't think you're going to be looking at a group of players that the stage will be too big for them because they've beat quality opponents. They've been in big situations before. This is the 5th straight time SDSU has won this tournament and has advanced to the NCAAs. I think getting this team could really sneak up on someone in the tournament.
Great points all around. How about this? We come back after 10 o'clock tonight, and we do this all over again, except we're talking about men's basketball. We're talking about, go figure, another rivalry. We're talking about Jacks Bison. What do you guys say?
It's going to be a barn burner, absolute barn burner, but I'm excited for it.
I hope it's not a barn burner, because the new event center is not built. So if we have a fire,
Give it time.
you know what? Given the recent history on national TV for the men's title game, this building will set on fire. Given that something always goes wrong for the men's title game.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, we had the horn go off.
Last year wasn't there a fire alarm?
Last year, 2 years ago or last year? Yeah, something like that. I think it was last year. So, Justin, we're watching you for mischief. So,
Well, try not to ask me any questions tonight because I'll probably be deaf after the crowd.
Good. Marcus, Spencer, Justin, we'll be back after the Jacks meet the Bison for the NCAA berth on the men's side.